Hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. Today is Monday, October 21st. The Spartans will head out on the road this weekend for the final non-conference game of the season to play Army at West Point. That kickoff is this Saturday at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time, which means the pregame show. You can wake up with us on the radio 9:10 a.m. at 8:30 Pacific time a.m. It'll also be televised on CBS Sports Network. Let's welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Hello, thank you for coming. It's very good to see everybody here. So many friendly faces. First of all, congratulations to Rocky Long and San Diego State. It is a program and a coaching staff that we have total respect for. They've done an incredible job over time of being an excellent football team, an absolute model of consistency in the Mountain West Conference. And we had a battle with them. It was definitely a hard-fought game. I thought our team played extremely hard, and there was just, we didn't make enough plays, in that second half to be able to close the gap enough. There were some real bright spots, I thought, in that game for us. I thought that, our offensive line did a good job protecting the quarterback, and also we found some run game, which was exciting against a very, very good defense. Those guys have kind of set the standard defensively for this conference for a while. And so I was encouraged by some of the stuff I saw, as the game played out. I also thought defensively, the hard thing about it is you just have to be right for a long time and you got to be perfect. And, there was some of those, that big play that broke late in the game was a backbreaker. Just a little bit of pursuit angle and, the missed tackles. So, that was just a hard-fought game, but I give them credit. They're a good football team. They're well coached. They play very hard. And it was disappointing that we didn't find a way to play better and get a win when we had a great crowd. We had homecoming. We had donors and fans and students, and, every other sports team was there supporting our players and our team, and I was really appreciative of that. It was a really great day here, and so I'm disappointed that we didn't play well enough to win, and that's my job, is to get us ready. So we're hard at work getting ready for Army. We got to, how often do you get to play a football game at 9 a.m. your time, which is going to be awesome. So we're going to get on a plane and fly 6 hours and go to bed and get ready to play a football game. It's going to be awesome. This Army team is very, very good. They have done an incredible job of building a consistent program there. It's really impressive to see what they've done. A year ago, they came out here, and it was just it was an ugly football game for us, especially in the second half. We turned the ball over in 4 consecutive possessions offensively, and it was not a lot of fun for anybody that was there at Levi Stadium. So we know we have to have an incredible week of practice to play against a very disciplined, extremely hard playing, very, very good football team at Army this weekend.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Kyrie Robinson got his first start and was your primary running back for the game yesterday. Describe his effectiveness for the game for you guys.
I was really excited about Kyrie. I thought he did a great job, and he's been kind of waiting for his opportunity, and I thought he did a really nice job finding some holes and getting in some tight spaces, and then keeping his feet moving and with some good downhill run. So I also thought our offensive line did a good job of blocking that front from San Diego State, which is an outstanding group. So I think that's one of those things that we can be excited about as a football team. As we look to the things we did do better on Saturday, that was one of the things we definitely did better.
Hey, Coach, with traveling across the country, are there any differences in the way the team travels?
I think the only difference for this one would be that we're going to leave a day early and try and get the guys on some sort of schedule. I think, in terms of playing the game, the 9 a.m. kickoff, our time, for our players, we practice in the morning, so I'm hopeful that there's some benefit for us, just kind of their bodies being awake and being used to playing. It's always a challenge when you go west to east. I think the NFL has done a million studies on that, but this is going to be, I think we might have some weather. It's going to have all the fun stuff. We'll be there, It's on campus. It's an incredible environment. It's going to be one of those awesome days for college football.
Coach, this is your second time seeing the triple option this year. So what's the difference between Army's and Air Force's styles?
That's a good question. They're both obviously extremely effective, and I think the group from Army is the quarterback's coming back. He's a really good player. Gave us fits a year ago. He's hard to tackle. He's tough. He gets downhill, and so each of those. I think all the academies have a little bit of their own little flavor to what they do. And so, we have to get our eyes trained in the next few days to see, what kind of similarities we can pull from the Air Force experience, what we can pull from our experience a year ago, right? And then kind of what they're doing that's a little bit different than what they did last year.
Last week, going back to San Diego State, last week they were able to pin us 3 times inside the 2-yard line. But one of those drives, we drove 99 yards and were able to score a touchdown. Can you talk about that drive and what it means for this offense, being able to drive 99 and score a touchdown in the longest way possible?
I was really excited about that drive because I knew who we were playing on the other side, right? That's just such a good group on defense. They're good at every position on defense. And so, to be able to sustain a drive like that, and continue to make the plays and continue to move the chains was really exciting to see us kind of work through that because that's hard to do. And, that being said, I do think that there are some things that we can do a little bit better in the special teams that can hopefully not put us in a situation where we have to do that 3 times in a football game. Are you liking my voice? You guys liking my voice? You feeling this? Yes. Yes, it's just repercussions of the excitement of Saturday's game. There was so much excitement.
What are your overall impressions about Army this season?
I think they're a really good football team, and I think they play their best football at home, which is where we're going. Just with the cadets in the stands and the environment there that they've created by building a winning football program makes it incredibly challenging. What they do on offense is something that you don't see very frequently. And then on top of that, you have this, unique travel going from coast to coast. So I think those are all the things that make this a challenging football game, going to play them at their place. And, I think they had a tough game last week against Georgia State, but you can still see all the pieces that are in place. Like, this is a good football team. This is what they do. They're going to bounce back. We're going to get their best effort, and that's something we got to be ready for.
Hey, Coach, Army has scored in the red zone 84% of times by touchdowns. So what's going to be the key to stop them from getting to the end zone this game?
Well, I think that's just being disciplined with our eyes, tackling well, which I think is something that showed up in last game. We had been tackling pretty well the most of the season, and that was something that we got to do some work on that. This is a team. We've seen what they can do, when they're playing well, right? I think this early in the season we saw them go to overtime on the road at Michigan. We know how good they are. And, their success in the red zone is their ability to consistently do what they do better than you can defend it.
What are some of the added things the Spartans have to do this week, particularly on defense, to prepare for Army?
Well, I kind of mentioned some of that a minute ago, but I would say definitely, we have to have a huge emphasis on tackling. And then there's, when you play a team like this, there's just such a huge emphasis on being sound and being where you're supposed to be. And that's the thing that makes this challenging, because when you don't see this kind of offense very often, there's some elements of what we played last week, right? You don't see that very often either, right? Where people line up with 3 tight ends and 2 tight ends and a fullback, and like you don't see that very often. So when you do play those teams that are really effective at running the football, it's absolutely critical that all of your people on the defensive side of the ball are sound, are good with their eyes, and then play with extremely high effort and tackle well.
Coach, Isaiah Hamilton's catch made SportsCenter top 10. It was a pretty fantastic, fun catch for the fans. Can you talk about that catch and just about the young receivers and how they're coming along?
I'm really excited about that young group. I think, we've seen some really big plays from them already. Ham, with the pin the ball to the side of his helmet was awesome. I was excited because he went up and played the ball aggressively. It was a big way to start off the game. And, I think throughout this season so far, we've seen him, continue to make big plays. He had a huge play at the end of the half against Nevada, a big touchdown. So he's making great progress. Andre Crump has done a really, really good job. He's a true freshman. It's all happening really fast, but he seems to be really comfortable. He's a really mature kid, and has made some plays in games that have really helped our team. And then, I think you talk about Jermaine Braddock and, his maturity, and, he's getting back to form. He kind of got dinged a little bit early in the season, and so he wasn't as effective, but he started to show up more and more. So I think that's a group of guys that Spartan Nation is going to love watching play for years to come.
Hey, Coach, Army's defense this year is only 4 interceptions and 13 sacks. How's the effectiveness of Josh Love's going to be leading up to this game?
Well, I think if you're watching our football team, Josh Love's effectiveness significantly impacts every game we play in. And that's, his decision-making and his accuracy are going to be absolutely critical. How we handle the elements, if there are any, is going to be a big part of that. With a team like Army that does such a great job possessing the ball and executing schematically and keeping it away from you, we're going to have to be really efficient offensively with each drive, and we're going to have to go to the right people with the football. We're going to have tremendous ball security, and we're going to have to throw and catch with really good accuracy and consistency throughout it, so that we can sustain drives and hopefully finish drives when we get in the red zone. All right, thank you. Spartan up.
All right, that does it for this week's press conference. Once again, San Jose State on the road this week for the final non-conference game of the year against Army. That's a 12 Eastern kickoff time on Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Our coverage on 9:10 a.m. Real Talk and the Spartan Radio Network at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. The game will also be on CBS Sports Network. The remaining home schedule, you can still grab your tickets at sjsuspartans.com or over the phone, 408-924-7589. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.